I don't want to have a conversation with lesson planners and not give you a chance to say, this is one of my favorite ideas. Now I'm going to limit you. You only get to pick one. And I know it's like picking your favorite child, but for the sake of time, what might be one of your, just that lesson idea came to you and you thought, this is golden and parents are going to love this?
In history, we're reading about like the Renaissance period. And this was actually, I think probably from, was that this coming year? Unless I might be getting my stuff all mixed up, but anyway, wherever we were. And I was looking at it and I was like, well, you know, they always talk about, what does it mean to be a Renaissance man? And, you know, you always hear that term. And I was like, oh, that would be kind of an interesting thing to have, like, okay, well, we're going to do that in our DO project. And I'm going to let kids choose, like, and that's in elementary. We don't usually do as much of the, like, we kind of give them like, okay, well, we're going to do this project or this whatever, but it was like, no, let's let them choose. What does it look like if you're you know, a grower and you want to be a Renaissance person? How do you go about and do that? And so just coming up with like different ideas of what you could do, you know, like, okay, well, maybe you want to learn a musical instrument, or maybe you're going to make a do-it-yourself buffer sword, or maybe you're going to learn to ride a horse, or maybe you're going to learn a language.
You know, she just snuck in a bunch of project ideas there.
I just mix them all. So you're going to be a Renaissance person. You get to choose which one do you want to do today and whatever. And I like that about portals. I like that we have so many different choices and options.
All right, Britta.
So I'm going to go with one that I did throughout literature and history courses for this coming third loop. And we touched on a lot of different cultures. And a lot of them are unreached, or currently have very small percentages that are believers. So I used the Joshua Project website, which has a ton of great, really interesting data on people groups and if they have the Bible in their language and literacy and just like what is it like to be a Christian in this culture today, and then have students look at that and then go pray for that people group. And this is kind of cheating because I do it multiple times for multiple people groups, but it's a repeated project throughout the year, just to have an idea of what it's like to be a Christian around the world, and then to be praying for the church.
Awesome. Becky?
This is so hard. This is so hard. I think one of my favorite that I was like, I wish I could do this. We were studying Exodus and it was in our Bible, and I had them create a mock trial. So, you know, like the attorney is Moses, the judge was Pharaoh, and there were witnesses with Aaron, and the other Egyptians were around. And then the students had to create the skit and the props, and they had to, you know, write out like what the performance is going to look like. So you're trying to capture the story. And so it just makes it a little bit more alive to these kids. Like, think about going before the Pharaoh. I mean, think about how nerve-wracking that is. So they had to capture the mood of that story and the feelings of what was going on. And to think that this really happened. Moses went before this most powerful man of that time period. And so trying to keep, you know, like trying to make scripture come alive. And I was like, man, I wish I was, you know, a kid again and I could do that. I just think it'd be great. And then you're also collaborating with others. You're learning how to communicate. You're using your creative skills. So there's just so many, it's like hands-on learning. There's so many aspects to that one lesson that you're creating in the kids and they don't even realize it.